here, and I'll lift them in. It all started in France, and they used to see smoke rising in the mornings. And they used to think, well, at any time they used to see smoke rising. And they used to think if they could encapsulate that smoke, it would lift them into the air. But as you know, it wasn't the smoke, it was the heat in the smoke. So they built all sorts of envelopes out of silk and paper and whatever they had back in 1782. And they used heat sources like wood, coal, straw, dung, whatever they could burn. And of course they had lots of fires and lots of disasters, but eventually they started to get things to lift into the air. And then they decided it was time for someone to fly. So they put a duck, a goat and a rooster in a cage, heated the balloon up, and off they went. And they did a 15-minute flight, went beautifully until they landed. And when they landed, the goat stood on the duck's wing and broke it. 275,000 cubic feet in capacity, which is equivalent to 275,000 basketballs. Capable of lifting 2.5 tonne. Big weather system across New Zealand at the moment, but there's been a front go up the coast this morning which has given us some lighter winds, but they're not going to stay light all day.
Lift me up, higher now I'm up. 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 Ain't talking, making us bold, so strung out and cold, feeling so old.
And do not get out.
Okay.
You may get left behind. The only other thing I need to tell you is there are a first aid kit in here and a fire extinguisher.
What?
Is that the fire extinguisher?
Yep. Right. I think we're about into it. Got a radio. Radio check.
Yeah, copy.
Thanks, mate.
Woo!
Bye.
That's all.
Beautiful morning.
Beautiful morning, yeah.
You lucky people.
Just to feel alive again, pushing forward through the night, aching just above the side. It's so far away. It's so far
Okay, look at the camera again.
away.
Yes, we do. Yeah. But a lot of the cropping farms have been turned into dairy farms because there's no money, there's more better money in 15 years ago.
Cold wind blows into the skin. Can't believe the state you're in. It's so far away. It's so far away. you trying to press, steadily creating a mess? Step in front of a runaway train, just to feel alive again. Pushing forward through the night, making chest and blood recite, aching chest and blood recite.
Right, just bend your knees. Bend your knees, stand up.
Hang on a minute.
There's always one, isn't it? Okay, we've landed here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, come down the road, see if you can work it out. Anyway, 2 weeks later from the centre of Paris, the Montgolfier brothers took off and they flew for 20 minutes, and that was the birth of hot air ballooning and aviation as we know it today. And as aviation has gone over the years, it has progressed really, really quickly. And soon they were getting better envelopes, safer envelopes, better heat sources and flying further distances. And in those days, and back in 1782, they were a little bit mythical and a little bit worried about some gods or the, whoever lived in the next country or whatever. They were a bit worried about where they were going to land, what sort of reception they would get. So what they decided to do is they took lots of champagne and wine with them, so that when they landed they could either give it to the gods or the landowners or the gentry or the kings and queens or whoever they owned the land, to keep the peace, which is what they did. They gave them champagne, and they also toasted to the flight with a bottle of champagne, and that tradition has continued through to this very day, and that's what we do now. They gave farmers today a bottle of wine, and we're going to toast to the flight with a bottle of champagne. Yeah. Now we have orange juice if anyone would like orange juice, or you can have 50-50.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, and it goes like this. The winds have welcomed you with softness, the sun has warmed you with its warm hands. You have flown so high and so well that the gods have joined you in laughter and gently laid you back into the loving arms of Mother Earth. Congratulations, you are now all officially balloonatics. Cheers.
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 Cheers. Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
What a great way to finish your holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going home today, aren't you? Or leaving? Yeah.